Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Purda by Imtiaz Darkar. This she has written as Purda 1 and 2, and here she explores the concept of Purda, a practice of secluding women from public view, and the impact it has on a young girl's sense of self and identity. The poem depicts the girl's initial experience with Purda, which she initially perceives as a form of safety and concealment. However, it also reveals a sense of isolation and detachment that accompanies the practice. The girl becomes aware of the world's gaze and the expectations placed upon her, leading to a growing sense of internal conflict and disconnect from her own body and mind. The poem starts with the girl being told that she is now old enough to learn some shame, implying the start of her socialization into the Purda practice. She finds that purda or the covering of her body offers a sense of safety and a place to hide. As she becomes accustomed to the practice, the girl begins to feel a sense of separation from herself as if she is constantly passing from her own perspective into how others see her. The poem highlights the tension between the girl's inner self and the outward expectations imposed by Purda. She is aware of the world's gaze, the whispers behind her back, and the pressure to conform. The girl's experience with Purda leads to a growing awareness of the patriarchal structures that govern social norms and conventions. She begins to see how dependent she is on these structures and how they shape her identity. The poem explores themes of gender inequality, societal expectations, and the impact of Purda on women's lives. It also dwells into the internal struggle of navigating societal expectations while trying to maintain a sense of self. Now let's read the poem. Purda 1. One day they said she was old enough to learn some shame. She found it came quite naturally. Purda is a kind of safety. The body finds a place to hide. The cloth fans out against the skin, much like the earth falls on coffins after they put the dead man in. People she has known stand up, sit down as they have always done. But they make different angles in the light, their eyes aslant, a little sly. She half remembers things from someone else's life, perhaps from yours or mine, carefully carrying what we do not own between the thighs, a sense of sin. We sit still, letting the cloth grow a little closer to our skin. A light filters inward through our body's walls. Voices speak inside us, echoing in the spaces we have just left. She stands outside herself, sometimes in all four corners of a room. Wherever she goes, she is always itching past herself, as if she were a clod of earth and the roots as well, scratching for a hold between the first and second rib, passing constantly out of her own hands into the corner of someone else's eyes, while doors keep opening inward and again inward. Purda 2. The call breaks its back across the tenements. Allahu Akbar. Your mind throws black shadows on marble cooled by centuries of dead. A familiar script racks the walls. The pages of the Quran turn smooth on old bones in your prodigal hands. In the tin box of your memory, a coin of comfort rattles against the strangeness of a foreign land. Years of sun were concentrated into Malvi's fat dark finger, hustling across the page, nudging words into your head, words unsoiled by sense, pure rhythm on the tongue. The body, rocked in time with 20 others, was lulled into thinking it had found a home. The new Haji, just 15, had cheeks quite pink with knowledge and eyes a startling blue. He snapped a flower off his garland and looked to you. There was nothing holy in his look. Hands that had prayed at Mecca dropped a sly flower on your book. You had been chosen. Your dreams were full of him for days. Making pilgrimages to his cheeks, you were scorched long before the judgment by the blaze. Your breast, still tiny, grew an inch. The cracked voice calls again a change of place and time. Much of the color drains away. The brightest shades are in your dreams, a picture book, a strip of film. The rest forget to sing. Evelyn, the medium from Brighton, said, I see you quite different in my head, not dressed in this cold blue. I see your mother bringing you a stretch of fabric, brilliant fabric red. Yes, crimson red, patterned through with golden thread. There she goes, your mother, still plotting at your wedding long after she is dead. They have all been sold and bought, the girls I knew. Unwilling virgins who have been taught, especially in the stranger's land, to bind their brightness tightly round whatever they might wear in the purdah of the mind. They veiled their eyes with heavy lids, they hid their breast but not the fullness of their lips. The men you knew were in your history striding proud with heavy feet across a fertile land. A horde of dead men held up your head above the mean temptations of those alien hands. You answered to your race. Night after virtuous night, they performed for them. You performed for them. They warmed your bed. A coin of comfort in the mask clatters down the years of loss. You never met those men with burnt out eyes, blood dripping from their beards. You remember the sun pouring out of Maluvi's hands. It was to save the child the lamp was sacrificed. To save the man, the scotch and stones. God was justice. Justice could be dread. But women you have learnt that when God comes you hide your head. There are so many of me. I have meet them every day, recognize their shadows on the streets. I know their past and future. In cautious way they place their feet. I can see behind their wheels, and before they speak, I know their tongues thick with the burr of Birmingham or Leeds. Break cover, and let the girls with telltale lips we'll blindfold the spies. Tell me what you did when the new moon sliced you out of Purda, your body shimmering through the lies. Salima of the swan neck and tragic eyes knew from films that the heroine was always pure, untouched. Nevertheless, poured out her breast to fill the cup of his white hands, the mad old artist with the chest, and marveled at her own strange wickedness. Bought and sold and worse, grown old. She married back home, as good girls do, in a flurry of red, the cousin. Hers or mine, I cannot know. An annual babies then rebelled at last. At last, a sign behind the wheel of life found another man, became another wife, and sank into the mold of her mother's flesh, and mine begging approval from the rest. Her neck is bowed as if she wears a hood. Eyes still tragic when you meet her on the high street, and watchful as any creature that lifts its head and sniffs the air only to scent its own small trail of blood. Nazim, you ran away and your mother burned with shame. Whatever we did, the trail was the same. The tear stained mother, the gossip aunts looking for shoots to smother inside all our cracks. The table is laden and you are remembered among the dead. You not no going back, the prayer said, and there you are with your English boy who was going to set you free, trying to smile and be accepted, always on your knees. There you are, I can see you all now in the tenement up north, in or out of Purda, tied or bound, shaking your box to hear how freedom rattles. One coin, one sound. Here ends the poem. If you have anything more to what I have said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.